They can speak, but they cannot run. But Chinese people, they encourage people to able to run Chinese. That's why there's a lot of Chinese literature. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
So Chinese literature, it has unbroken record basically. Its form comes from 4,500 years. Basically, we are now in 2010, yeah, 2010 AD, and then there's a zero where around about 2 years, 2 plus minus 2 years of Jesus born, and then the literature of Chinese was formed back from 2,500 before Christ. So if you total it up, it's 4,500 plus 10, 4,510 years. So but Chinese literature, they are about 4,500 years. If you look at the Indonesian literature, probably only there. Or only there, And in a lot of Indonesian there, but Chinese have a lot of literature. It's actually one of the ancient civilizations. Chinese have been around for that long. So, so that's why what's special about this. Okay, now, nowadays, what is the Chinese, worship? If you look at people of Chinese, what they associate with? They associate with Buddhism and also Confucianism. They always, they interacted with that, right? But, let's find out. Taoism, Yin and Yang, Yin and Yang. Taoism, 6 before Christ. Confucianism, 5th before Christ. Buddhism, only 5th before Christ. Okay, so I'll take it in the timeline here. So this is 2080. 5th before Christ. Sorry, it should be there. So it's a mistake. Yeah, it's 5th before Christ, should be there. So if they are worshipping, so this is wrong, I make a mistake, so it should be with this line. So if they start in worship Taoism and Confucianism and Buddhism starting from there, so what happened, before that? Who did the Chinese worship before that? Before Tao, before the Yin and Yang come, and Confucianism, before Confucian, born, before the Buddhism come, who did Chinese people worship? It's about 2,500 years. Who did they worship? That is a big question mark. Isn't it? Because now we have a perception that Chinese is always Tao, Confucian, and Buddhism. Okay? Now, from the literature and from the writing that they found, the Chinese people worship called Shangti. Shangti, is that correct? Shangti. So this is that's from the writing. They don't worship Buddhists. They don't worship Buddha. They don't worship Confucius or even the ancestors. They don't do that. They don't but they worship this character named Shangti. Right? You know what? What is something that when I start to relate what has been happening with my family. You know, my mom, every night back then, before she was Christian, every single night, at 12 o'clock midnight, she went out. She used to go out, and then put a joystick, the Joshua, and then what? It's not 3, but 1, only one. Go outside and worship. And I said, what is that for? Why it's different? Why have to go outside? She said, this is my dad, my grandma, my grandpa. Tell my mom, you can't forget to worship other gods, July Buddha and all those things. But there's one God that you're not allowed to forget to worship, Shangti, the Lord of Heaven. When you worship Shangti, you should not worship it inside the house. Have to go outside. There is nothing that's stopping you, and you have to look at the sky. So you're not worshiping a statue of Jilai, but you worship a Shangti. See? And it's only one joystick, not 3. I don't know what this means, right? So And I start to realize about this. Something is the law of heaven. So that's why when I start to understand this, when the transition between my mom before they become confused and become Christian, we tell my mom, it is okay for mom. You can still pray to the Lord of heaven. It's okay, but don't use the joystick. Just try to pray the Lord of heaven. So that in the transition, my mom at night wake up and just pray to the Lord of heaven. Indeed. Because we believe something is the same God that we worship. The same God as in Israel called Jehovah, Yahweh, the Lord of heaven. I want to go through that. So, alright, so are you ready?
Yes.
So, alright, before that, there is there's a dynasty, there's a lot of dynasty, right? And one of them, there's a Shang dynasty, which from 1776 to 1022 before Christ. So that is because that is we want to understand what is the Shang dynasty. So in the Shang dynasty, there's a lot of writings where we mention about Shangdi, right? Did I pronounce it correct? Shangdi. Okay. So when around the Shang dynasty, right? It's approximately the same time as Exodus. So when the Shang dynasty was, built, Moses, on the other part of the world, is leading the Israel to go out Egypt. Right? In the east, in the Chinese, in the land of China, they built the Shang dynasty. But at the same time, so it is actually around there, it's around in the same time as Exodus to Judges. Right? So there's a lot of mention about Shangdi, right? And then what happened after that? What happened after that? There is a Shang dynasty, which is actually taught by Zhou dynasty, right? It's about that time. And then in the Zhou dynasty, the word Shangdi is replaced by the word Tian. Or I said Tian. Tian? That. Yeah, that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, okay, that. Alright, so that's why now you hear a lot of Taiwanese, when we say, oh my God, they say, what a tiana, So that is the word tian, right? It means what? Bigger than anything big in the world. Because in the word tian, there's the word ta. Yeah? And there is the top of that. So it's bigger than ta. Bigger than anything big in the world. That is tian. Are you?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. It's interesting because Chinese character it was made up of a couple of words. But I don't want to go there. But because what happens if I can write Mandarin now I will go there because I can't. So I'll probably just stick with what I can. Alright, so but I know it's ta, I know that, and then this is actually bigger. So this is what changed in the Shang in the Zhou dynasty. It was replaced the word. So that's why nowadays you see a lot of word tian rather than tian. After you up, tian rather than Shangdi. So this is something that we have to know. So that when you see the word Shangdi and the word tian, it means the same thing in the literature. Okay? But it was changed. So what is the character or what are the characters of this God that was worshipped by Chinese people, which is Shangdi? Let's find out. Okay. So now the question is, we know that Shangdi is equal to Tian, and then Shangdi. The question is whether Shangdi is equal to Jehovah, is equal to Yahweh, is equal or Tian is equal to Jehovah. That is what we're going to go through. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Fasten your seatbelt. Okay. Now, who is Shangdi?